Is this really the life I'm living? 'Cause I don't feel like I deserve it. Every day that I wake, every breath that I take, you've given. So right here, right now, while the sun is shining down, I wanna live like there's no tomorrow, like I'm on borrowed time. It's good to be.
Alrighty, on the Wild Azalea, I'm sorry, the Kisatchie Loop Trail. I don't know why it's the Wild Azalea, Kisatchie Loop. And hiking with Larry and his son Christian. We're probably about 2 miles in. And we got our rain gear on. It's drizzling right now. And it's thundering in the background behind us. Looks like a pretty significant storm is wanting to try to roll in. So we're gonna get as far as we can get and keep an eye on the radar and see what if we need to take shelter somewhere. But yeah, so far everything's good. Good trail. Everything's clean. It's rained overnight, so everything's wet, but it's not flooded. I already had to do one little creek crossing. We're probably 2 miles in, mile and a half, 2 miles in at the most. I think today is a 12-mile day. So, alrighty, let me get on up the trail a little bit. It's Sunday, December 29th. We're doing 37 miles in 3 days. 3 days, 2 nights. We should be back at our car Tuesday afternoon. We parked one vehicle at Corral Camp, cached some water and some food in it, and then we shuttled to the Caroline Dorman Backbone Trailhead parking lot, and that's where we parked the other vehicle. And we're going counterclockwise, starting on the Backbone Trail, working east north originally. And this afternoon, evening, we'll be back at Corral Camp, camping there, resupplying our water, and then we'll go from there. We've been going a couple of hours now. We're about 4 miles down the trail. We got about probably about a quarter mile until we get to a real nice scenic overlook up here. Big tree here. Easy walking. We did all the climbing. Now it's pretty well flat until we get to this campsite up here. Take a break, get something to snack on. Hopefully before too long the threat of rain will pass and we can take off our rain gear and cool off. North wind's gonna start blowing, so it'll be chilly. And got sweaty underneath my rain jacket. But it's humid. We've been about 4 miles on the trail. It's a couple hours in. It's about 9:30, and we've taken our time. It's been raining a little, but we hadn't been in a rush since we don't really have too much farther to go. Another 6 or 8 miles, nothing difficult. About 4.5 miles in, you get to a very pretty scenic overlook for Louisiana, that is. And we're on the Backbone Trail section of the Kisatchie Loop. Nice little campsite here. Little fire ring, place to pitch a couple tents, real flat. It's been overcast and drizzling, hadn't poured down rain too much, so it's not terrible. Hopefully in the next couple hours all this is supposed to pass and we'll be able to shed the rain gear. But it's very nice. We're gonna stay here a little bit, take a little break, and then push on. The trail comes up this way. Right there. That's the trail. It comes up that way. From here, come this way, and that's what you see when you get to the top. You can see a nice little fire ring there. Nice little scenic overlook. It's real pretty. Well, we got past the rain. It was wasn't heavy. It was just constant, a steady drizzle. A couple times it got a little heavy, but not too bad. But anyway, rain gear's off, pack covers off, trying to let some stuff dry out. We're actually on the sandstone trail now. We completed the Caroline Dorman portion of the trail. I'm sorry, the backbone portion of the trail. We completed that, and now we're walking 4 miles on the sandstone trail to Corral Camp, our camp for tonight. We should get there within the next hour. It's only 1:30 right now, so we're making really good time. It's marked with green blazes, by the way. Sandstone trail is well marked, multi-purpose trail, ATV traffic, lots of ruts, but a good trail, easy walking. Should get there by 2:30. Plenty of time to set up camp, hang my gear out, get into my base layer, because it's supposed to drop down into the middle 30s tonight. It's 54 degrees right now, but it doesn't feel it. We're gonna see if we can scratch up a fire. Not sure if we'll be able to find enough dry tinder. We do have some fire starting material, but again, whether or not we can get dry material to keep it going is a question. But anyhow, just not a bad day today. I think by the time the end of the day is over, we will have done probably close to 13 miles. So, not too bad. Tomorrow's a little bit longer. I think tomorrow's closer to 14 or 15. And then, so yeah, but it's supposed to clear out. It's supposed to be blue skies. The high tomorrow is in the mid to low 50s, low to mid 50s, with a little north wind, but it won't be too terrible. Just walking out here in the middle of the national forest. That's where I came from. Yeah, so it's been a good time so far. Stopped and had lunch in the rain underneath. And when we got to the end of when we got to the backbone trailhead, like any national forest trailhead, they have the little information hut with the little roof awning. So we got under that. Has periodic trail markers. I don't know what mile we got on this thing. Wasn't paying attention. But we're decreasing the miles. We're at 14. A while ago I saw one for 15. But anyway, we got underneath the little awning, had lunch. I just ate some of my beef jerky and a couple protein bars, protein cookies. Other than that, I didn't feel like breaking out any tuna and doing anything. It was just too wet and nasty. When I get to camp, I'll eat that, and then I'll also still have dinner to eat. So anyhow, day one of our backpacking adventures. It's been fun. It's really not a bad day. Good shakedown hike. Getting ready for wet weather hiking, likely to be when I do the Georgia section of the Appalachian Trail. At least one day in there, I'm certain, will be a rain day. It always rains on the Appalachian Trail. So this was a good shakedown for me to see what works, what doesn't work. This mud is slick. If you get, it's that red clay mud. If you get sideways in that stuff, you will end up on your backside. Alrighty, it's late in the evening. We've already had dinner. Sorry I didn't get a chance to record that. Came into camp. We're here at Corral Camp. Had dinner already, got camp set up. It's kind of chilly. It's about 51 degrees. Supposed to get down about 36 tonight. So got my base layer, long sleeve base layer pants and top on. Definitely tired. It was, I think, about 13 miles we did. Did it in 6 hours, 6 hours and 15 minutes. It's probably about an hour of stopping time between lunch and just all our other little breaks. So yeah, it worked out great. Looking forward to getting a good night's rest. I'm not sure what time we're going to get up on the trail tomorrow morning, but we're going to go from Corral Camp to Kisatchie Bayou Campground. And I think that's about 14 or 15 miles. Yeah. So it'll be a long day. Won't be terrible. This Corral Camp is actually a pretty nice place. It's got vault toilets. There's no water here in just a little bit. It's a beautiful day. It turned out to be a beautiful evening after all the rain. It turned out to be a beautiful sunset. So looking forward to a good evening. I'm gonna turn in early, and I'll check in with y'all tomorrow morning when we get ready to have breakfast. Talk to you later. Alrighty, good morning. I am out on the sandstone portion of the trail this morning. We started a little late. By the time we got started, packed up, got on the trail, it was probably about 9 o'clock, a little later than what I was hoping it would have been. Had a good night's sleep. Got down to probably about 37, so not terrible. As you can see, cobalt blue skies. Temperature's supposed to get up to 55 today. 59, I think, actually. I tell you what, this is a nice loop. Day one was good, even though it rained. It was pretty. Came across some scenic stuff. And day two is just starting out to be fantastic. It's just nice. And so looking forward to the rest of this day to see what all it holds. One of us is ahead, Christian, he's ahead. Few minutes. I'm kind of in the middle, and Larry is behind us. And we're doing the cut across trail right now that Eric talks about in his hiking videos. Probably been on a cut across trail a couple miles now. It's a multi-purpose road, 2 tracks, sandy. You get to some muddy spots and you have to walk up on the bank, and the pine needles get embedded with the mud in your shoe, but it's no big deal. But it's flat. Had a couple climbs on it, nothing major. Couple climbs. There are some slick spots, being that it rained yesterday, but for the most part it's that sandy trail and it drained off nice, and so it's a pretty good tread. I'm assuming this is going to be the tread all the way to when we link back up with the actual sandstone trail. Let's see, look like we got a little crossing right here. Oh, that's not bad. A little flowing water if you needed to refill water right here. Water coming out. It's nice. Just a little ditch, if you will. Drainage, clear water, nice area. Looks like I got some holes I'm gonna have to go around, so I may just pause this for a little bit, get through these holes. Let's see if I can walk around them here. Haven't seen, well, late yesterday evening, 4 or 5 dirt bike riders passed us. They were cordial. They slowed down, let everybody cross safely. It was good. So that was good. But other than that, haven't seen any other ATVs out here. And I know this is a multi-purpose trail. Hadn't seen anybody else out here but us. Yesterday during the rain, we saw a group of hikers, probably day hikers. 4 or 5. They were on the backbone trail, going opposite of the way we were. Yeah, walked around those 2 holes back there. Wasn't too bad. That was after rain, so I would assume they're probably generally not terribly bad to walk around. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mix of hardwood and pine. We're gonna be camping at Kisatchie Bayou Campground. So according to the app that we use, from Corral Camp to Kisatchie Bayou is about 14 miles, maybe 15. We got off to a later start than what I wanted, so we're gonna have to hump it a little bit because I don't want to get into camp at dark. I want to get in with daylight. Time to set up and relax, cook and eat a little bit, and then as the sun goes down, visit, and then retire to the tent. That's the way I like it. I don't like to come in by headlight. We're gonna stop up here where the sandstone trail, where the cut across trail connects back up to the north end of the sandstone trail on the west side before we turn south, head towards Kisatchie Bayou. So when we get to that point, I'll come back on and I'll let you know our pace, our distance and our pace, and how we're hiking. Walking through a stand of new growth pine. It's quiet. All right, just enjoying a little bit of nature out here. Trail's still really dry now. A lot of that water drained off through the sand, so it hadn't been a bad trail at all. Little footbridge here. Good water source. Alrighty, keep pushing on. Probably got about a mile, maybe a mile and a half, probably about a mile to the west intersection of this cut across trail and the sandstone trail. So that should be coming up shortly. Okay, probably coming up the biggest climb we've had so far. And even at that, it's not, you can see Christians up there. I caught up to them, but it's no doubt the biggest climb. Of course, no switchbacks, so you're left just hooking it up the side of the hill. Still on the cut across trail. We're less than a mile to the trail intersection with the sandstone trail. I'm sure you hear me huffing and puffing. All right, looks like we made it to the top. Can't really see, but there was a bottom down there. Right past that bridge, we started climbing. All right, we arrived at the intersection of the cut across trail and the sandstone. The northern section of the sandstone comes from that way. If somebody was walking, if they did the full northern loop of the sandstone, they would come from there and they'd come to this trail sign right here, because that is the cut across trail. That's where we just came from Corral Camp, and the sandstone continues up that hill right there. How about it, Christian? How was the cut across trail this morning?
It was real nice. A lot of tracks, like some deer and maybe some bear.
Yeah.
No sign of Larry anywhere.
Yeah, Larry is behind us a little bit, so Christian was just saying, yeah, we should have brought some cards or Uno game or something because we'll have some time to kill. So we'll get a bite to eat, snack here for a little bit, and then it took us just under 2 hours from Corral Camp to here is 5.67 miles according to my app, tracking app. And it took us an hour and 52 minutes. So we were doing better than 3 miles an hour. So that tells you it's largely flat. It's easy hiking. This tree right here has some trail markings on it. So it shows you left and right here, and then it's got something painted on it here. Not real sure what that's saying. It's an arrow there. There we go. Alrighty. We'll be back.
Well, you keep your cap and I'll keep mine. Or no, what?
Alrighty. Wow. That was a climb. We're on the section of the sandstone that's heading south to Kisatchie Bayou. Probably been on it about 3 miles now, if I guess, 3 or 4 miles. I tell you what, this section here has got some decent climbs. I mean, obviously it's doable, but if you've never been to this part of the state, you wouldn't expect. For instance, there's Christian up there. You can see he's got a little elevation on me, not much. But it's like the climbs, they just go up the side of the hill. They ain't worried about the easiest way or any kind of switchbacks. Or it's just, okay, we're gonna get on top of that hill. So anyway, we're almost to Forest Service Road 366, I think. We're gonna stop there, take a little break, wait for Larry, catch up, and regroup, and from there be our final push to Kisatchie Bayou. But still a beautiful day. Look at those skies. That blue backdrop against the green trees. It's unbelievable. I can see the road down there. Yeah, we're coming up on this Forest Service Road. I'll go ahead and stay online since we're approaching the road. Had a few ATVs and dirt bikes come past us. Everybody's using their manners. Got stop signs out on the trail. Everybody's using their manners. When they approach us, we step to the side, give them plenty of distance, step well off the trail, and they just slow down because they're coming by us fast. They slow down and just take their time, just like a no-wake zone. Ease past us, and then they hit the throttle and they're gone. So yeah, hats off to all the ATV riders in this area. Everybody's been using good manners, minding the hikers. All right, so it's Forest Highway 59. Here we are. All right, well, and then it looks like the trail just continues right over there. Forest Highway 59. We shall wait a little while. Let's see, what time is it, Christian? It is
1:10.
1:10. We left the intersection of cut across trail and sandstone trail probably about noon, maybe a little bit after noon. Alrighty, I got breakfast going this morning already. I made me a shot of coffee. Got my food bag out. Heating up a little bit of water for some Quaker oats, raisin date walnuts. It's good stuff. We slept out, we pitched our tents right here on Kisatchie Bayou. Very nice campground, worth the hike from Corral Camp, which ended up being almost 16 miles versus what we thought was going to be about 15. And we stayed, we didn't detour, but I tell you what, beautiful sunrise coming up through the clouds over there, or through the trees, not the clouds. There's not a cloud in the sky. That sandstone trail, let me put a little bit more heat to this. Thought I was heating it up. There we go. Okay. That sandstone trail, the cut across trail wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty good trail, if you remember me saying that in previous videos. But once we turned south at the sandstone trail, and we reconnected and turned south, it started getting pretty soupy. And then about 5 miles in, I guess, there's a big, it's on the map, it's one of the waypoints. It's a parking lot for the ATV access to get to the sandstone trail. Huge parking lot, vault toilets, big parking lot. From that point to Forest Highway 366, where you turn right and do the 1 mile road walk, from that point south to that Forest Highway, it was just horrible. I mean, the ATVs have ate the road out. And so you're bushwhacking on the side of the trail for the most part. There's some parts where you can actually walk that sandstone trail, but for the most part, you're bushwhacking. You're walking up on the bank, up on the edge. You're zigzagging across from one side of the ATV trail to the other, because one side may be completely flooded, so you've got to cross to the. So you're zigzagging and you're bushwhacking, and very little of it is actually on the ATV trail. Now that could be because it rained, but it was only like an inch of rain the day before, and that sandstone trail drains off pretty well because it's sand. I'm thinking that's probably pretty normal, because at the end of that portion of the sandstone trail where it connects with Forest Highway 366, there's ATV access there as well. So I'm thinking because it's so close to the road, people access that part more than other parts. And man, it is just be prepared. If you're going to walk the sandstone trail, that portion of it before the 1 mile road walk on this Kisatchie loop, be prepared for it to be slower than expected, and bushwhacking, some off-trail stuff, and a bunch of zigzagging. That's enough about that. So I'm gonna go over here back to my water, get my oatmeal going, and I'll come back on a little bit later. It got chilly last night. It got down to about 34 degrees. I think it was 34. The radar said it was 34 before I lost cell signal. Down here in Kisatchie Bayou, there's very limited cell very little cell reception. So let me get over here and drink my coffee and get my day started. Figure out it's 11 miles back to the trailhead of the Caroline Dorman and the Backbone Trail. So let me get back over here, get some coffee, figure out how soon we're going to leave. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. Campground's quiet. And I'll talk with y'all later. Alrighty. So, a little change of plans today. We're still at camp, hadn't left camp yet. One of my hiking partners, Larry, he's kind of had a bum knee for a while. Just years, you know, just athletics and whatnot. And yesterday he was hiking and it started to get real tight on him and sore, and he got to camp late last night because it was just taking him so long to walk it. Took some ibuprofen overnight, hoping to ease the pain and the swelling. It didn't help much. Got up this morning, still hobbling pretty good, still in pretty good bit of pain. So we've got 2 vehicles here, not here at the campground, but here at the in Kisatchie. His truck at the Caroline Dorman Backbone Trailhead intersection, looking at the GPS, best guesstimates, it's probably 5 or 6 miles from here. The trail back to that same point is 11.5. So he can't do the trail today. There's just no way. He also can't do the 5 or 6 mile road walk. So we just made a group decision. His son Christian and I are gonna do the road walk back to his truck and then come back to Kisatchie Bayou Campground and pack up our stuff and pack him up. We're gonna go light. I don't have a day pack. I'm gonna pack just water and my food items in my pack. So I'll be real light. We can hike fast, and we can get to his truck in a matter of 2 to 3 hours, and get back up here, get him picked up, and that way he can go ahead and head on back home and figure out what he needs to do about his knee. But at any rate, we'll be doing that here in a little bit. I already had my breakfast. Beautiful campground. There's an upper and a lower section. If you've never seen it, we're on the upper section. That's the lower section down there. They got some people camping down there. It's right on the bayou. It's really nice. There's some people camping down there. This area is a flash flood warning. I'm assuming they're talking about that lower section down there because it's literally right on the bayou. It's only about 5 or 6 feet up a bluff to those tent sites. We're about 25 or 30 feet up a bluff. So that'd have to be some serious water rise for these tents up here where we're at to flood. Our tent site right there. There's the bayou. And here's the lower tent area down there, down on the bayou itself. Like I said earlier, maybe 5 or 6 feet up a bluff. There's about 6 or 8 tent sites down there. Looks like they got a pretty good little group camp going on down there, which is cool. They had a good time. I could hear them during the night. They had a nice fire going. Bunch of young people, which is cool. They're out here in nature. That's good stuff. The bayou's flowing. I don't know if it flows like this all the time, or if it's because of that rain, or if it's flowing a little bit more than normal, but it's got a pretty good bit of water action happening. Alrighty, well, we decided to go ahead and do the road walk. Larry's back at the camp with his knee. I'm walking with Christian. We're probably about halfway to the vehicle. Been walking about an hour now. Had to do a little section of the Caroline Dorman. Just by the way it was a little cut across trail, but now we're gonna be on the road until the last part before we get to our vehicle. But should be there in about an hour. Alrighty, we're on the last leg of the Caroline Dorman Trail. We've got off the road. We got to do the trail walk for about the last couple miles to the parking lot, and we come across this real nice little natural formation here. A little running water, be a nice water resupply point. Really, really nice right here. Just a second ago, Christian spotted 2 wild hogs, wild boar, just maybe 25 yards in front of us, cutting across the trail. They were running though, and I just saw the back side of one of them, but he saw 2 of them, so they're out here. Alrighty, on to the parking lot.